Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In this series, I'm sharing the progress of the game I've been trying to make, which is an action RPG. And in the last video, I showed you guys how I implemented the player movement and the settler movements and added a basic chicken farm where the chicken does nothing. So in this video, I'm going to show you the further progress, what I've been doing and stuff like this. So stay tuned for the update. Okay, so in this iteration, what I added is, as you can see, there are a couple of chickens and they're moving randomly. Obviously, there's a red box around it so that I can see. I was debugging so that I can see where can my chicken go and define the path based on that. But that's not the main progress. I've been mainly working on the movements and stuff and debug tools, main the tool set so that I can make the game as smoothly as possible. So first of all, what I want to mention is I'm trying to build this game both for mobile and PC, and if I perfect the movement for both platform first, then I don't have to think about that's the main logic behind why I'm doing this early. So let's show you what I've built first. So I have two modes. First of all, this is the desktop mode, how the game will look on the desktop, and I can select the settlers. I can hold Q and then move it accordingly. But I can also test this for phone. So as you can see, if I click Control P, this will pop up and the UI is changed a little bit. So if I select this guy right here, this should work. So here for my phone, I've selected the player, and after selecting the player, as you can see, the joystick popped up. And I guess you guys have noticed that the joystick texture is changed. I have updated the texture a little bit, so I can select the joystick and move around with it. And the next thing I worked on is the touch emulator. So what usually happens is Godot has a function or as a settings where we can emulate the touch from the settings, emulate touch from mouse, this option. Enabling this, the mouse input will work as a touch. But the problem with this is, well, we get both inputs, mouse input and the touch input. So the problem occurs is we don't know if it's not working for touch because we're getting both inputs, mouse and touch. So even though the touch is not working, the game is working. So whenever I export it to the phone, it does work. So it doesn't work on the phone. That's what I'm trying to say. And the second thing is we can't emulate the multi-touch input. So here what I did is, let me show you guys. In the HUD, I created a composer object. I talked about this in the previous video where I am following the composer architecture where I'm gonna drop in some game objects and it's gonna add a lot of bunch of functionality. So that's how the touch emulator is working, where we can add the touch emulator, and this is here, and we'll have a hint text and the opacity and these kind of settings. So what happens is, let me first delete the touch emulator from here. So if I just delete it from here, or I can just show you right away. So here you can see after deleting the touch emulator, everything is working. The mouse is there and I'm not seeing any touch specifically. And I've turned off the touch emulation from the Godot settings itself. So let's see what, once I add back the touch emulator, what happens. So here I have added the touch emulator back up. Now if I run the game here, now when I switch to the mobile mode, as you can see, I have a touch kind of UI instead of the mouse. Now what I can do is I can toggle the press input. If I click Alt+Z, it will emulate the toggle input. The next nice thing about this is I can emulate the multi-touch. So if I click Alt+N, then it will create a second touch. I can create a third touch like this, and I can switch between these by clicking Alt+M plus 2, and then see it went to 2, and I can also make it press. So this thing is pressed, and while it being pressed, I can shift to the other touch, so you can see, and I can make both of them pressed like this, and both of these work. This will be helpful when I'm gonna test pinch zoom and stuff like these. And as you can see, I want to show you one other thing. Here now we're in the mobile mode, and now I've say selected the settler, or maybe I go back, and yeah, I've selected the settler. Now what I can do here is I can make my button selectable or selected by touch. Okay, so I'm sorry for the interruption, but it was not working. I fixed something, so now I can make it selected by touch. So I can come here and then press Alt+Z, and it is selected, and then I can create a new one, Alt+N, and then I can move the settler by this. See how cool is this? And if I just switch back to 1, and then if I release the touch, and if I go back to 2, it will not work anymore. See, because I have to hold this thing to move the settler. So these kind of things I can test out with the multi-touch input, and obviously I can delete the touch like this, so I only have one touch. So now I can move the camera like this. I guess this tool will help me in the future, and that's all the progress I know. It's not been much, but hopefully I can build some big game someday in the future. Thank you so much, guys for watching. Stay tuned for to watch the next update. Thank you so much.